Hi, I'm Phyllis Gray, and I'm so pleased that you're joining me today for a road trip down historic Route 66. This highway, dating back to 1926, is very important in our history. Though it started as a commerce route connecting the Great Lakes with the Pacific, it was later to carry a great migration of people across our country. We'll travel east to west, and our trip will begin in Illinois in the city of Chicago. For a history of Route 66, I recommend Mike Wallace's Route 66, The Mother Road. I've enjoyed picking up Route 66 information from books, from movies, enjoying listening to the Route 66 song. Probably the most famous book and also movie is The Grapes of Wrath. For mapping our trip, we'll have that easy guide with us at all times. That way, there'll be no guesswork, and should we encounter this, we'll know exactly how to reconnect. Another practical resource is the 2-volume Images of 66, which catalogs pictures so we can see what's ahead, and also it will help us identify our images later when we say, where did I take that? You might want to check out my book, Route 66 in Search of Ghosts and Treasures. It outlines 166 iconic attractions. Use Route66.com for news, events, and to connect you with a myriad of travel resources. Beginning in Chicago, we will travel through many small towns until we reach the Mississippi River. Chicago offers much to see and do. We have the Buckingham Fountain in Grants Park, the beautiful lights of the city and neon for sure. Time permitting, we may go to Wrigley and see a Cubs game. Lou Mitchell's near the start of Route 66 is a great choice for breakfast. Dries Bessels, founder of the Dutch Route 66 Association, has the same idea. Dries recently wrote a travel guide for Dutch travelers, and although I don't know the language, I appreciate the excellent illustrations. It's time to roll southwest through Chicagoland. In Willowbrook, we admire the Delray Chicken Basket awesome neon sign. In Romeoville, we find the original White Fence Farm and more delicious fried chicken. 4 generations of Milanos have been baking for Joliet since 1915. Many cornfields later, we spy a 1934 Packard. Car enthusiasts love Route 66. Look up 28 feet to be eye to eye with the Gemini Giant in Wilmington. He stands guard next to the Launching Pad restaurant, which reopened recently. Look, that's Elvis waving us into the Polka Dot Drive-In.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music, any old way you choose it.
The Dwight Railroad Depot served for 80 years. It was there during the invention of the car and the explosive use of cars on the road and the improvement of roads across the country. The city celebrated transportation history by the restoration of the Ambler 1940 Texaco. In nearby Odell, this 1932 Standard station, which had ghosted, is now restored thanks to the community and the Route 66 Association. We find Pontiac bursting with Route 66 pride. The Wall Dogs from Chicago deck that town out with more nostalgic murals than you can believe. At the Palace of Sweets mural, we met a delightful couple from Switzerland who were enjoying the place. The Route 66 Museum in Pontiac is one of the best in the country, and it's filled with remembrances of artist Bob Waldmeyer. Bob's van was the inspiration for Fillmore in the Cars movie by Disney Pixar. Bob's actual 72 VW van is housed in the museum. He called this his studio on wheels and traveled the country spreading information, goodwill, and art. This was Bob's residence when he would return to Springfield, Illinois. Upstairs from the museum, we find the Home Again gift shop. Owner and artist Joyce Harbin Cole is there, and she has unique, one-of-a-kind gifts. Joyce did the artwork on the new Route 66 passport. Route 66 visitors present their passport to merchants along the road in exchange for stamps and gifts. At Chenoa, we find a pharmacy that's been in operation since 1889 and an advertising mural that is now a ghost. Thank you, Lexington, for the restoration of your 1940 neon. A big change in Normal, a ghosted landmark has come back to life. Dr. Terry Ryburn and the City of Normal teamed up to bring the Sprague Super Service back to its old glory. It's the only Tudor Revival canopy station in Illinois. A claim to fame for Normal, Illinois was that it was the place that Gus Bell and his wife in 1934 started the very successful Steak and Shake. We wanted to see that first location at Maine and Virginia, but it was gone. Poof, ghosted. Well, that leaves 550 locations left in 28 states. In Bloomington, the McLean County Museum of History did not disappoint. A previous courthouse on this site had been the place that Abraham Lincoln officed as a young attorney. We marveled at the beauty of this American Renaissance piece of architecture. Outside the museum, we found Nick Gerlich sharing a bench with Abraham Lincoln. Nick told us that he and Abe went back a long way. A new attraction to the museum is the Cruisin' with Lincoln on 66 area that celebrates the relationship Bloomington has had with both. During our road trip, there was a conference going on. The vintage Chevrolet parked outside had been on the History Channel when it was fashioned for a Route 66 fan. We caught up with the car's owner inside, Ron Jones from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Known as a tattoo man, Ron has about 170 iconic Route 66 tattoos. Other notables who had come to Bloomington included Efren Lopez, Dora Maroney, Judy Walker, and Dean Kennedy. Back on the road again, we commented on how the old road ran right alongside the interstate, but it was standing in stark contrast with its curves and dips and winds and scenery. We spotted several barns hawking an attraction in Missouri over 100 miles away. We're stopping at Funk's Grove for maple syrup. In 1924, Isaac Funk settled this area and amassed 25,000 acres. Remaining today are remnants of the town, an old grocery store, a depot, and the beautiful old church, which is now used as a wedding chapel. The Funks started the first cattle feeding station in the United States. They co-founded the Chicago Union Stockyards. They started a seed company called SEBA, and they chose their attorney well, Abraham Lincoln. Further west, we see the Dixie truck stop. The mill in Lincoln, Illinois had many lives, opening in 1929 as a sandwich shop. It was later changed to a barroom and dance hall and specialized in schnitzel. Today it's a museum honoring 3 restaurants that have ghosted in the area: the mill itself, the Pig Hip, and the Tropics. We learned about Ernie Edwards' restaurant in Broadwell, the Pig Hip, where they served up an uncured ham, and Ernie claimed that it was only cut from the left side of the pig. Both a state and national treasure is Springfield, Illinois. Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, hailed from here. A trip to Springfield just wouldn't be complete without a stop at the Cozy Drive-In. The Cozy Dog, which has been served there since 1946, was the brainchild of Ed Waldmeyer, the father of Route 66 artist Bob Waldmeyer. Ed developed a unique system of being able to turn these dogs out quickly by putting them on this device. In 2009, son Bob came home to the Cozy Dog for his very last art show. He was dying of cancer, and he gave everyone a chance to say goodbye. On we go to an original alignment of Route 66 just past Farmersville in Girard. A delightful soda fountain docks. The soda fountain was part of the Deck's Drug Store, operated by brothers Bill and Bob Deck. Today, the drugstore is ghosted, The brothers are gone, and what remains is a wonderful pharmacy museum and a very active soda fountain. These local Girard ladies welcomed us warmly and had stories to tell. But were you coming here when it was a pharmacy?
Yes.
Okay, so you knew the brothers real well.
Yeah, the Deck brothers. Yeah, we come in here if we need a medicine or medication or something, pills.
But it was just Ringling Brothers then, and they were stranded south of town on the train somewhere, and they came into town, and Mr. Tipton, who lives out by the cemetery, his son lives the first house farm north of Girard now, I think, and they stopped. They didn't have any food or meat or nothing to feed the animals, so he got off, and some of the town fathers, so the story goes, got off, and they rounded up meat, and they held a circus out west of town, and people came from all over. It was held like the next day or something. It just seems unbelievable to me that all those things took place back then. Go to the corner right up there and turn left. It's a block up there.
But you didn't have to wait for it to stop.
Well, that was the dinky, the titty shaker. You could go flag it down, Mr. Dish Dragon, and stop and pick you up. Or you could, it had a regular schedule to stop here, but anywhere along the line you could just flag it down.
As we left docks, we felt such gratitude for the people along Route 66. Nearing the end of our trip, we stopped in to say hello to Rich Henry of Henry's Rabbit Ranch. Rich was storing a Stanley Cortell sign that used to stand proudly on Lindbergh Boulevard, Route 66 in St. Louis, and he was displaying a Camel 66 Express truck, humping to please with Snortin' Norton on the side. Inside the Welcome Center, a sign announced that the treasures inside that cabinet and on top were not for sale. We discussed Route 66 and rabbits before setting off for our last stop along historic Route 66. Mitchell, Illinois had one of the finest signs along the old road that you'd ever want to see. Crime boss Al Capone was a frequent guest at the Luna. They had great food, gambling downstairs, and girls up. When the ladies of the evening were there, the ruby red cherry on the cocktail glass glowed. Our road trip has come to an end. We're heading to the Mississippi River and the state line, where we'll cross over to Missouri. Thanks for riding along.